Welcome to LegacyCast, your source for hearing from top influencers, industry experts, and successful business owners who are telling their unique story about life, values, goals, business strategies, and the various causes they are so passionate about. Future generations will come to be impacted by what is happening today, whether positive or negative, and our mission is to focus on what is going to affect change for the better. Hosted each weekday by James Snow, a former U.S. Army combat medic, now founder and principal advisor of James Advisors Group, a full-service financial planning firm in North Texas. This is LegacyCast. Welcome, LegacyCast listeners. This is your host, James Snow. Welcome you to the program today. And I have with me this afternoon a friend of mine, Chris Flowers, a fellow veteran person that helps other people to create their legacies. And we'll get into the details as far as how he's able to do that from his vantage point. But Chris, welcome to the program today. Thanks for coming in.
Oh yeah, thanks so much, Jim. I really appreciate it a lot. Giving me this opportunity to come on and talk to your listeners.
Sure. And like I enjoy telling people, when they come on the program, what we do here with LegacyCast is we're talking about people telling their story their way, and really we're put on this earth to kind of take those gifts and talents that we have and to make the world better. And so in short, our legacy is how we have done that. And so that certainly is something that I'm very passionate about, and the people that come on the program, they enjoy being able to talk about, their take on that. So when you're hearing about a legacy, Chris, what's the first thing that pops in your mind when that comes up?
What you're leaving for the next generation. Mm-hmm. So like the legacy of what Vexford is what I pass on to my children and what they get to do with it from there.
Sure. So do you feel that it's an important conversation that people have with themselves to actively consider, really what they're doing and make deliberate steps from the day-to-day that is going to play into that legacy?
I really think so. I think you have to, of course, being an entrepreneur is not an easy thing. And, it's chess, it's not checkers. You got to be thinking 3 moves ahead. You should already have the exit plan gauged from the day you start the business, because you're not going to work till you're 105 years old. So you want to have at least that kind of vision in front of you. What is this going to be, at the end game? So I think it should be part of your day-to-day, thing too, because a lot of times, like I said, that entrepreneurs, they get caught up in the day-to-day. They don't think of the grand plan or the long-term, right? But sure. Of course, you have to deal with the day-to-day, but you have to think in those places. You have to think those 3 moves ahead, like when you're playing chess. You want to control the middle of the board. So you got to have that strategy already thought out and in place, and work towards that every single day. And with the way the corporate environment's going, everything's so PC and everything's so garbage. Work, do more work, you pay less. Do more work, you pay less. Being an entrepreneur, I think, is the only way to go, just to be your own boss, and then you get to set the tone for what your company wants. Because I know when people come and they're working for Vets for Biz, this is not corporate America. This is, it's a veteran-owned, veteran-employed company, and we do things as veterans. We're squared away. Yeah, we're, hey, and it's not PC. Sometimes language might get a little salty, whatever. But hey, we handle things, we handle business, but we knock down our target, and we take care of it.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's the only way to go now.
Yeah, it's total transparency. When we handle it that way, and that's kind of what makes us cut from a different cloth. I think that we really do better when we conduct business in that manner. That we're just put everything right on the table. What you see is what you get, and
that's it.
It works best.
Yep, there's no gray area. It's just, okay, here's the mission, here's how we're gonna, here's how we do it. I mean, people can implement different styles and things like that, of course, bring their gifts to it. But at the same time, okay, here's the target. We got to knock this target down. So let's do it.
Yep. There's see the hill, take the hill kind of mentality. Yep.
Exactly.
So how do your views on legacy and then your own business plans affect what you're doing in business?
Well, I also have a business lending background as well, so I understand a lot of things from the financial side, um, as well as like the marketing side as well. So when I think legacy, I think of okay, I have a lot of times people depend on, let's say, their CPA. If their CPAs are great, of course I have one,
Mhm.
but you have to tell the CPA what your goals are. And the big thing I would say is to the listeners, remember that your CPA works for you. You don't work for your CPA. He'll advise you on, okay, well, he's going to minimize your taxes, and that's great. And I would abolish the rest tomorrow if I could, but that this reality is not there. So, but when you want to borrow money, or when you want to buy a building, or you want to do something like that, you have to show you're making money. And I know CPAs are great about cutting down the taxes, but also when you're doing all this depreciation, and you're showing loss and things like that, you're devaluing your company. So later on down the road, when you want to actually sell that company, it's not worth nearly as much as you think it's going to be worth. So that's why you have to have that plan in place. If I want to sell my company for X amount of dollars, or if I want to hand it to my children, it's got to be worth something. If I depreciate it all out and write everything off and everything like that, it's going to be worth zero. So you have to have those plans in place prior to, and you have to operate towards that goal in mind. Are you going to pay more taxes? Yes, you are, but it meets the goal.
Sure. Yeah. Well said. So as a CEO and an entrepreneur yourself, how would you say that maybe a couple things are there a couple things that maybe keep you up at night still with your business, or do you pretty much kind of riding the wave, so to speak?
Oh no, every day is a new challenge. Every day I try to set my goals, try to hit those goals. I don't try to ride the wave, because I said you have to. If, obviously you plan to fail, or then you fail to plan. Or how does it go? I apologize. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you have to have a plan in place prior to, whether it's a daily goal, monthly goal. So I try to try to knock those targets down. Yeah, there's no riding the wave, because this wave is going to be a typhoon if you try to just go
Yeah.
with it. So you have to make sure that you're dictating the flow of the flow. Every day, and say, okay, here's what we're going to do today. And I said, right now, I'm still growing. So I've been in business for about a year now, so still growing, still making it happen. Yeah, I'm still doing the day to day, but now I'm hiring a few employees, so I get to delegate a couple things. That way, okay, but it's very clear. The mission's clear. Here's what we need to do. Okay, make this happen. I'm like Steve Jobs. I love that saying that he says, you don't hire smart people to tell them what to do. You hire smart people, they tell you what to do. So I hire smart people. I give them the mission. They go. Yeah, as long as they're knocking the target down, I'm good.
Excellent. Excellent. So do you believe it's important that people create, as you're kind of describing what you do you believe it's important that they create a business plan and a financial plan, both on a personal and business level, for themselves, to kind of have that roadmap, so to speak?
Oh, 100%. Now, like I say, now you and I are both, prior military, so we don't go anywhere without an op order, right?
Right.
So a business plan, to all the veterans that are out there, a business plan, don't let it intimidate you. It's an op order. That's all it is. Okay. So you just have to obviously, translate into more civilian type terms, but you're not going anywhere without an op order. Okay. So, hey, like I said, if you don't have that op order, you don't know. I mean, we're just going to wander around in the box all day, or we're going to go actually, knock some targets down. So you got to know, what the targets are. You got to know where the troop moves are. You got to know where you're going. You got to know what your weather conditions are, all those different things. A business plan and running a business is no different. You have to understand who your competition is. You have to understand what your challenges are. You do what's called your SWOT analysis, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities.
Sure.
And what was the last one? What's the T? Threat assessment. So do your threat assessment. So, and you have to know these things going into it, and this that way you can, you could be ready and be prepared when those things happen. You're not like caught out of the blue, and you're still going to get sucker punched every once in a while, but then you improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You can't course correct if you don't know where the course is. So yeah, I
Exactly.
certainly agree.
Yeah.
You need to at least have a roadmap, and that lets you know what's ahead and where the pitfalls are going to be.
Right. Right. And then, like I said, and of course, like I said, just, with every op order, okay, so, we have an op order, but once the bullets start coming, going down range, those things are going to change. You're going to have to flip some things. You're going to have to pivot. You have to move around. Well, business is no different. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
Sure.
you're going to want to, maybe you don't land that particular contractor, or maybe your cost of that particular product went up a little bit. Okay, so you have to adjust. You have to make sure that your profit margins are in place that, can absorb those kind of costs. Or what are you going to do? Are you going to increase your prices, or do whatever? So you make those adjustments as you go. But like I said, but if you know your business well enough, where you can make those pivots, where you can make those moves. Or sometimes you're going to say, hey, you know what, we're not able to pursue that particular thing at the moment right now. It's not effective for the long term.
Yeah, spot on. So what do you think maybe some of the most common reasons are that new business people are failing or giving up, in the early stages of their business?
It takes tenacity. You got to be just gritty, nasty, get after it every single day. It is not for the weak of heart. I mean, but like I said, but we're military, so we get it. Okay, nobody's dying today. Nobody's shooting at us. So there's nothing we can't do in the business world. Okay, because we've already been there, done that. You know what I mean? So as far as going out and making a couple of calls or doing whatever, like nobody's shooting at us. You know what I mean? So what can't we do? So that's what, like you said, we're cut from a different cloth. Okay, we're coming at it from a completely different angle. Once we have those goals, and once we set those goals, really the only thing that's going to stop us is us. Okay. Part of, I think, what maybe stops some newer businesses is they don't understand the resources that are available to them. Okay, as far as different planning models, or different resources, maybe even resources like you and I, to where we can help them in the planning stages, things like that, or help them think of the long-term vision, or help them in the marketing side, or things like that. How okay, they got an idea about how they're gonna let the world know they're out there. What are they gonna do? Just things like that. And there's also other great resources from the planning aspect, like things like SBTC and things like that. Just a lot of resources that they aren't aware of, because hey, like I said, this is going to be a street fight. It's going to be day to day, but at the same time, you want to be as efficient as possible. Like I said, you can work a lot out of some more efficient, and of course, you're able to engage a lot more targets.
Yeah, you brought up resources, which kind of leads us into the next area that I was going to ask. What are some of the resources and roadblocks? We'll start with roadblocks first. Things that you discovered, in your time in business that you would warn somebody to look out for, and then resources that they should tap into to have an easier time.
I think roadblocks, like I said, it's going to be yourself. I think that's number one. It's going to be, if it's not going to be 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, especially when you're first starting out. It's going to be 14, 20-hour days, 6-7 days a week,
Sure.
for a while. Until it actually, you just can't get that. It's just like when you're in boot camp, man. Just don't quit. Just don't quit. Keep pushing. Okay. A lot of things too. I think, like I said, especially when you're first starting out in business, like I said, quitting your job, being like Cortez and burning the ships and not looking back. If you don't have a job, having some kind of income in where you can, pay your mortgage, feed your kids until the business gets up and running, and they okay, yeah, this thing's going to take off. I mean, I have to. Unless you have, like I said, unless you are very liquid, you have a really nice nest egg savings account that's going to last you a couple of years until this thing really gets going. Like I said, you got to have that some type of income in place, unless your spouse makes really good money, where she can cover or he or she can cover the the monthly bills and things like that. And this is more of a side piece, not like that you don't have to depend on to feed your kids. But some people I see, they cash out their 401ks, they max out their credit cards, they take out a home equity loan, then they quit their job, so their income goes away, and they have there's nothing, there's no safety net, there's no fallback.
Yeah.
So I think those are some of the biggest things that I see out there that a lot of people do. They're all for it. They're super positive. Hey, this is going to work, so on and so on. But again, they're not efficiently planning for the what if and the maybes, and the resources that are out there one that I use quite often, and I know they're available nationwide, is called SBDC, the Small Business Development Corporation. Best part is it doesn't cost you an additional dime because it's already paid for through your taxes, and it's funded by the SBA. And you get a one-on-one counseling session, and they help you from anywhere from getting your business plan in place all the way to your exit strategy, really everything in between. Right. You could be in a mature business where you're up and running for a couple of years, and you're thinking about expanding and growing. You can run it by your counselor. Hey, look, we're thinking about expanding to a second location, or we're going to want to hire like 5 more people. What does that look like? And they kind of help you run the numbers, and they give you real efficient, real-time data, things like that. It's an invaluable asset for, again, zero cost. So it's amazing. Just things like that, it can be invaluable to a business owner just starting out.
And kind of a one to pair up with that is the Veteran Business Outreach Center that are in different areas to reach out to the VBOC. That they can help you also as far as plugging into different resources that are available.
Correct. Yeah, I do speaking engagements with VBOC. I do speaking engagements with SBDC. Our SBA office down here has a veterans resource outreach. I speak at a lot of those. Yeah.
Excellent. So how would you say that your personal values and your belief systems play a role in your business? And then to kind of go along with that is, how would you advise a new person going into business to integrate those into their own?
I'm sorry, say again. You kind of broke up on me.
How do your personal values and beliefs play a role in your business? And how would you advise others to incorporate their own beliefs and values into their business?
Again, I think as veterans, we're cut from a different cloth, as said, and I know, like I said, I'm a follower of Christ. So, the Bible says, let your yes be your yes, let your no be your no. So you have to, I answer obviously to God. So, I like my eternal, my eternal 401k is, at stake. But all joking aside, the thing that cuts us apart from everybody else, that, we're not going to, especially if we're working for a veteran, like one veteran to another, we're not going to let our brother or sister down. We're going to have their sticks. You know what I'm saying? They're depending on us. So therefore, we're going to do our job. Just that having your sticks mentality that the veterans have that the civilians don't. Civilians, say one thing, do another. Oh yeah, I'll take care of that tomorrow, and then they, blow it off or whatever, because they have no ethics. You know what I mean? Or veterans, I'm not saying every veteran is perfect. Of course, there's people out there, whatever, but for the most part, the mass majority of veterans, if we say we're going to do something, bet your ass we're going to do it. So, so I really think that cuts us apart. And then also just myself, it's like, I try to, I'm not giving the farm away. I'm making money. Let's not get that twisted. I'm here to make money. But at the same time, I'm not going to, my reputation and my word mean more to me than my profit margin. So if I can help somebody out and I can help them generate revenue, I get a lot of satisfaction from that. But like I said, let's not get twisted. I make money as well. But I'm not so much worried I'm not as concerned of the paycheck. As I am about, okay, am I doing the right thing for this particular? And I'm not the right suit for everybody. Okay. Some people may not need my services. So, or they may, have, and that's fine. But if I can help them, and maybe with another, maybe the experience I have, like I said, in the financial industry or anything like that, that I can, or get them pointed in the right direction, maybe, talking to them about, VBOC or something like that, then, I'll try to help them out that way. So I think that kind of, like I said, kind of cuts to the heart. A lot of times, especially when you get into the business world, it's all about what's my paycheck going to look like? What's my, so
yeah.
I think a lot of civilians do that, so I think that kind of makes it a little bit different.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's because we're really should be here to be servant leaders, and so we're helping each other, and in the process, after we help enough people, we're going to be okay. And so just changing that focus, like you're saying, instead of focusing on the money aspect, focusing on, basically blessing other people to the degree that you bless enough people and you're going to be blessed as well. And it all works out. It's just, that's the way the world is. That's the way God created it. And it's great.
That's God's provisional God. So we have to, as long as we're doing it by His standards, by His rules, then we're going to be all right.
Very true. Very true. Faith, family, finances, as I say.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's something maybe earlier in your life you wish you had done that you didn't or would have done differently?
I don't like to look in the rearview mirror as much and say what if, and maybe what if I had got my full ride to play football and got in the NFL or whatever. If I do that, okay, I wouldn't be who I am right now. Okay.
True.
So, and I wouldn't have gone down the path of life that I have a beautiful wife, beautiful children, I'm very blessed. So I guess I know I am, I try to adapt to work. I know I am a very, headstrong. I'm very, I see the target, take the target down kind of thing. Sometimes I don't count the cost. Sometimes so one thing I have grown, I don't think I would change anything per se, but one thing I have changed, I guess, throughout, being older and getting more wise, is that before I was so used to making decisions, like life and death decisions, since I was like 8 years old, literally, so I'm not used to having consulting partners and people and advisors. And that's where I'm learning even now, as my business is growing. I had, of course I consult with my wife now, first and foremost. And then I'm starting to consult with some mentors that are successful business owners, because obviously they've already been there and done that. So again, it's like, why should I, bang my head against the wall and, make every mistake in the world when I can learn from their mistakes, things like that. So I don't know if I would I don't think I would change anything from like my past, because of the fact that it may be who I am today, and it forged me to be the person I am today. But I would say to an inspiring, business owner or a new business owner, like myself, definitely have mentors in place that are already successful, and they'll talk to you, man. They will talk to you. They'll share things with you and things like that. I mean, some people won't, but a lot of times you'll see that people are pretty generous once they've already made it to a certain level. They'll sit down and have a cup of coffee with you and let you pick their brain for a while. You know what I mean? So that, I think that's one thing that's pretty paramount. Get that mentorship going, and your way is not always going to be the best idea. So it's good to have. You don't want to have a bunch of yes sir people around. You want to have some people that have different views and different ways of doing things. Because like I said, I'm not super analytical. I'm just gung ho. I'm just go. So I have people in place that are more. They look at things from a different perspective, and they can guide me in certain things that I might override them sometimes, and so say, you know what, I didn't see it that way. I didn't see it, so let me take a step back and adjust. You know what I mean? So
sure. Sure. I'm totally spot on with you there. Now, I want to focus for a moment on some kind of personal directed questions. What hurdles did you have to face when you were transitioning out of the service that you had to overcome, and then going into entrepreneurship? What hurdles did you overcome to go into business?
Of course, the civilian world is obviously much different when you're used to dealing with military types, and you can be very blunt, direct, and you can use some colorful metaphors and get your message across, kind of thing. And that doesn't necessarily translate into civilian corporate world too well. And quite frankly, there's a bunch of hand holding and nanny kind of things going on here. They're crying about. They cry about whatever they cry about. We're like, are you serious right now? You got to be joking, Yep. So, and then, of course, that's why employers love hiring us. At the same time, we're kind of bulls in a china shop sometimes too. It's really, okay, we're going to break stuff. We're going to hurt people's feelings. So this is the way it is. Suck it up, drive on. So that was a hard reality to learn, like right off the bat. And then I'd say going into business, I guess I have an advantage. I've been in the financial industry for so long that I kind of, know, I have like different networks and I have different things in place. But at the same time, now it's like, okay, you have to think, okay, now this is on me. I mean, this is all on me now. I have to make everything go here. I am the marketing department. I am this, I am that. So if I'm not pushing, all these different areas, you have to wear all those different hats. Well, I mean, it's the same way in the military too. You're wearing a lot of different hats. So you have to kind of make sure, like, so you're not, dropping the ball in, certain areas and things like that too. It's a little bit hard. Again, because like I said, sometimes you try to rely on people, like you try to delegate maybe sometimes to maybe somebody who maybe is a civilian. And again, you might run into that guy, like, oh yeah, I'll take care of that for you. And then, hey, 3 weeks later, hey, where's it at? Oh, well, you know what I mean? So,
Sure. Yep.
That's like I said, that's kind of a tough part of transitioning out too. That not everybody has the same work ethic and code that we have.
That's true. So, were those things kind of obvious to you when you were starting your business and during that transition period, or did you stumble upon the answers that came to you?
As far as what? Anything in particular?
Like the things you had to overcome when transitioning from military service into the civilian world, and then also starting your business, things you had to overcome. Was that kind of obvious, or you sort of hit the wall a few times and figured out as you went?
Oh, I hit a lot of walls then, because like I said, when I was in the military, okay, I was I was actually in the Air Force and the Army. So when I was in the Air Force, I was what's called Air Base Ground Defense or Security Specialist. It was their version of the infantry, and I trained with the Army all the time. I was always deployed with the Army, and then when I went into the Army, I was what's called a 13 Foxtrot or a forward observer. None of that translates into business finance, and none of that definitely translates into marketing and social media. So even just learning how to build a website. I learned how to build a website. Like I said, God was my IT guy. So, God just gave me this idea for Best of Biz, gave me the logo, gave me the slogan, you produce, we promote, we got your six. He gave me all that. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, I could do that. And then, get onto the computer and start making a website. It was kind of like the Matrix. Like, hey, I know Kung Fu. Just start going out and start playing around with WordPress and figuring it out and, throwing some pictures on there. Like, hey, okay, that worked. Wow, cool. Okay, well, that didn't work. I got to go back and, blow that up and start over, kind of thing. So, like I said, it's tough having to, at very first, like I said, because you are wearing all the hats, you got to really stretch in areas you don't necessarily want to stretch into. I love to sit back and just, have meetings and talk to people. And this is me. This is what I do. Have conversations and, set those relationships and, get those relationships in place. The IT side and all that kind of stuff, I'm starting to, being able to delegate some of that stuff now, that's taking a huge load off me. And that's the thing too, is like, I think when you're a business owner, you got to know who you are. Okay. There are some people. I got a phone call there about this. Are you still with me?
Yeah. Yep. We're good.
Okay. Sorry about that. So, all right. So when you're a business fan, type of person that let's say you're a CPA, right? Mm-hmm. And you're a very, numbers kind of person, kind of thing. You're not necessarily, an extrovert. Like networking is not really your thing. Okay. So you got to think, okay, what are my strengths? My strengths are obviously, the analysis side. I'm going to be sitting here. I can plow through numbers all day long. What are my weaknesses? I'm not a networker. I'm not an extrovert. So you need to get people in place that can help you, because like I said, without those people that are out there, marketing for you, out there showing off your brand, nobody's going to know what you're doing. So you got to have those people in place, or vice versa. Like I said, I'm the talker. So, I'm the face of the company. So I can go out there all day long and talk about Vets for Biz and what we do and how we help veterans. But when it comes to transitioning back into the website, yeah, I built a website and did all that stuff. But now I have an even better website because I found a person I can rely on and work on. So they took care of the website for me, my buddy Patrick. So got that even more squared away. So now that I know, okay, when it comes to that, that's something I can delegate. Now I can drive forward more. So that's the one thing I said at first too. You are going to wear all those hats, but know what your strengths are, know what your weaknesses are, and have good people around. Like I said, it's just like anything else. Like I said, when we're, your squad, you know, everybody had a different, we all did the same job at the same time, but there are people that like, I was better on the 60 than most guys. So I always humped the 60. So that's how old I am when I carry the 60. Okay. So, things like that. So you got to know, hey, certain people are, better at doing certain things. Get those people in place, build your team, build your unit, and get those, and let them do what they do. Like I said, like Job said, let them do their thing, man. Let them roll. And like I said, they're, and then, you go off and do your thing. You have to always be pushing towards, generating that revenue.
Yeah. Yeah. Very well put. So when you started your business, what compelled you to go into the direction that you did? And maybe talk me through that process.
Well, I say it's kind of bizarre. This thing has taken shape and transitioned in several different ways. I grew up in a small town called Danbury, Connecticut. And I'm an Italian kid from Connecticut, and we never picked up a phone book. We were networking before networking was cool. And especially me, I had connections everywhere. So everybody's like, hey, you got a guy? Yeah, I got a guy. So nobody ever, they just come to me like, hey, who do I go to this? Who do I go for that? And that's how that whole, I've already had that in place since probably about 8 years old. Then, I come out to Arizona and I'm, doing, business banking, and I see that, I know the financial industry, but that's the one thing I see. I see these entrepreneurs. I see these guys that are running businesses, and they're so busy in the job, working in the job. They're not working on the job. You've probably heard that before. So, you got a guy who's a great mechanic who's under the hood. What is he not doing? He's not building his brand. He's not out there marketing it. You got a great CPA, same thing. They're back there crunching numbers. Or you got somebody who really wants to be the face of the company, and really wants to be out front doing the stuff, but he's got to worry about the day-to-day. He's got to worry about, putting in payroll. He's got to worry about, supply. So, because he doesn't have the team in place to where he can delegate that kind of stuff just yet, to where he can do it. So again, actually, how this started out as Christians for Biz. I was going to market and promote Christian businesses because I am a believer, but the Christian community was not as receptive to it because for some reason I kept getting all this pushback of, oh, I don't want God, or I don't want to limit my customer base. I'm like, are you joking? Like, really? So I was like, okay. Then, and I said, I didn't I was just literally up one morning, just, praying about this, reading the Bible. And God just gave me that whole thing, the whole idea, the logo, the slogan, everything I had for Christians for business. I mean, just hit me with it like a thunderbolt. Bam! I was like, wow. Then and that was before the internet was really, the tool that it is now for marketing and things like that. So this has gone a couple ways, and then again, I tried to really start picking it up in early 17 with Christians for Biz, and then again, it wasn't getting that traction. So then God literally, I was just walking through the house, gave me the Vets for Biz thing. And my wife was like, she wasn't really behind Christians for Biz as much. But when I talked to her about Vets for Biz, she was like, that's the one. She goes, your passion is veterans. You're always working with veterans. You're always talking to veterans. You're in your lane when you're working with veterans. So she just saw it right away. She's like, that's the one. That's where you need to be. So like I said, that was just God giving me the input, to go forward that way. And using the gifts and the skills that I have as far as my networking, as far as the business finance, as far as, and as you can tell by this interview, I never shut up. I'm constantly, I'm a talker. I'll go out there, I'll go in a room, full of 300 people, all strangers. I won't know a person in there. I'll walk out of there with 5 appointments, business cards all day, and, setting stuff up. I could chop a room up in no time.
Mm-hmm. So is there perhaps a different profession out there other than what you're doing that you might end up toying with at some point?
Well, I always wanted to be a professional wrestler, but I'm 47 years old. That's not happening. So, no, in all seriousness, no, I really can't see me doing anything else. I mean, because even in a way, like the Vets for Biz, to me, yeah, sometimes, I'm not the, how you say, the prototypical quote unquote Christian guy, because I use my language still a little salty or whatever, especially when I get around veterans. You guys start blah 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 blah. So I got to kind of tame it back. But to me, this is like a ministry too. Like, I can talk to guys, or gals, that are having, they said they're having that day where, they got to just talk to somebody. So they got to, or like I said, I can inspire somebody, just keep pushing, like I said, they're getting down, business is not going the way they want it to go, things like that. If I give them some kind of a direction, things like that. And I think God purposed me for that kind of stuff. So I don't really see it. And like I said, when I am working with the veteran business owners, like that, I'm just so in my lane. I can't see me doing it, to be quite honest with you.
Cool.
Unless Vince McMahon comes out and he wants to make me a professional wrestler, then it's okay. Yeah.
So what would you say your greatest character strength is, if you were to identify one?
I'm sorry, say again. You broke up again.
Your greatest character strength?
My greatest character strength? Just tenacity. Just
Yeah.
Don't quit. Just nasty. Just refuse to lay down.
Good deal.
I just won't. I think that, and just I'm not shy, especially when it comes to business. Like I said, I'll walk into a room and I'll walk out and I'll make contacts all over the place. So I think that's a gift from God that not a lot of people have.
Sure. Now, on the flip side of that, what would you say is your greatest weakness?
I am not super analytical. I do not. I will make a snap decision in a heartbeat. I will not. I don't always, like I said, I don't always look before I leap, kind of thing. I kick indoors. It's kind of just what I do. So, sometimes I really need to take a step back and think and pray or do whatever, rather than just go. So, and then like I say, from that analytical standpoint, like I said, as far as I get bored sometimes with just like the details. Like, okay, I'm the idea guy. Like I come up with the idea. Now if I can delegate to somebody, okay, here's my idea, make it work. Yep. Show it to me. You know what I mean? So if I could do that, but when it comes up to me, I start getting bored. Get bogged down.
I definitely relate with you on that one. So as far as ideas, you mentioned being the idea guy. Is there a particular place you go to get your ideas, do your brainstorming, maybe walks in nature or whatever? Is there a certain spot you go to?
Well, like I said, part of my daily routine is getting up and I get into the Word, and I'm doing a lot of praying and stuff. So that I get a lot, obviously, ideas from God. So he's the guy making this thing happen. But as far as like a particular place, I do have I get up, like I get up at usually 2:00 in the morning. Nobody's awake. It's nice and quiet. Get a cup of coffee. Sit there. I have one particular couch that I sit on, and just kind of get into worship mode and just kind of start working. And God works some things out of me. Sometimes he's laying me out. Sometimes he's giving me an idea. Sometimes he's giving me the new goal and what to push for.
Good stuff. So if you're to describe what you do on a daily basis, kind of at a very high level, how would you describe that? For somebody.
What I'm doing. Yeah. So what I'm doing out a couple different things for the customers that I do currently have is that I have their members of Vets for Biz. I'm marketing and promoting their particular business. Either, if I'm on, like I said, usually a minimum of once a month, I'll do what's called an airstrike, where I'll promote their business on social media. Or I could be, rolling through social media and somebody says, hey, I need X, Y, Z, or hey, I'm looking to, do something, and I'll have that resource. Bam, I'll throw it out there. Talk to so and so, and I'll throw their, Vets for Biz, their login. They're not their login. The page that I have on Vets for Biz. I'll throw that on there so they can see that. Bam, directly kind of deal. Talk to so and so, and then also I have or if one of my customers contacts me and says, hey, I'm hiring or having an event, I get that out live, right now, real time. Hey, go see so and so. They're having this event, kind of thing. Then, of course, looking for new customers. Always gotta be looking for new customers. So I'm out there, out and about, do my thing, trying to make those connections, things like that. And then, I mean, like I said, I can walk through. I mean, people see this shirt and they're like, hey, I could be walking through like Lowe's or like the grocery store. They're like, hey, what's this for biz? And they're talking to my wife. My wife she just knows just to go. She's like, okay, he's going to be there a while. I'll just go take care of it. She goes off and does the rest of the shopping. Yeah. And I'm going to be sitting there yapping all day. So, kind of thing. So, and then also, I'm always looking because I was telling you before, once a month, I hold events out here in Arizona called Rally Point. Everybody, veterans out there know what a rally point is. But I take a veteran-owned business, and we rally on that point. So I'm wanting to build the veteran community to where, just like when we were enlisted, we had a problem, we went to the unit. The unit took care of it. So we're our own resource group, we're our own network group, and like I said, we're our own counselors. Like we're just having a bad day and we don't want to talk to our spouse about it. I can talk to my brothers and sisters over here. They get it. They understand. So I'm working on the next rally point. And now, like I said, now the municipalities, all the cities in Arizona are getting involved, and they're going to start hosting my rally points. So that's going to be awesome. I already got 4 cities in Arizona preparing to host those. And like I said, I know, and I'm going to take this nationwide too. So Texas is definitely, obviously, on the target list. So maybe see me out there before you know it, man.
Yeah,
you'll be broadcasting. You'll be broadcasting live from Rally Point.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, that'd be exciting.
It's coming. It's coming.
For our wind-up question, kind of to taper down here a little bit. Tell me something about you that nobody knows. It's kind of a trivia question. What is there something about Chris that people don't know?
Well, I did actually run for the U.S. Congress in 2010 here in Arizona. I was in a very heavy Democrat district. So, but I was so angry. Again, that was definitely one of those. I just jumped in with both feet. I had no idea what I was even doing. I didn't have the foggiest clue. It's not like I had a degree in poli-sci or anything. Nothing even of the sort. I was sitting there one day. Nancy Pelosi was talking about prosecuting 4 Navy SEALs for tuning up some scumbag terrorists, and I was like, "Are you joking right now?" I'm like, what do I got to do to take her out? And so, okay, she's in the House of Representatives. Who's my House Representative? Oh, this guy Raul Grijalva, the socialist scumbag. Okay, I'm going to take this guy out. So, unfortunately, I said, I had a great message. I had a great, background. But when you don't have that name recognition, nobody's willing to cut you a check, especially when you're going against a 3-term or 4-term incumbent and you're in a D+3 district, and I'm obviously a Republican. So people were like, great speech, love your passion, but you got no chance of winning, so I'm not giving you money. So that part kind of sucked. But I had to, I was literally driving 200 miles a day, going from speaking engagement from Tucson to Yuma, all on the same day. Because that's that veteran thing, that's that military thing. Like, okay, what do we got to do? Okay, that's over there. I go and talk down in Tucson, drive 200 miles, go to Yuma, and I still was working a full-time job on top of that, and I had a wife and 2 small kids. So, sleeping was optional. Some days I didn't. So, just because I had a mission and I was driving towards that mission. Like I said, I swore an oath to defend, the Constitution, and I was going to do it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Unfortunately, nowadays, socialism is starting to be on the rise, and all of a sudden it's starting to be cool to be a socialist, which is like absolutely atrocious to me. But that's a whole other tangent for a whole other show. I won't even get into all that. So that would be, I guess, the one thing that I think people maybe don't know is that I actually did run for the U.S. House of Representatives.
Cool. Yeah, there's another thing we have in common there. So yeah, I like you even better now. Yeah, we're on.
Cool. Right on.
Definitely on the same page.
Outstanding.
Well, but the listeners here are going to be wanting to know how to get a hold of you, and how to be able to touch base with you and do business with you and so forth. So what kind of contact methods do you have there? You just kind of roll those out.
Sure. Well, of course, you can always go onto the website, www.vets4biz.us. You can go to the contact form there, like especially if you're a business owner, and fill out your contact information there. and I'll get back to you on that. My direct line phone number is 623-308-9732. Or you can email me at debts, the number 4, BIZUS @gmail.com. And I'm all over social media. So like Facebook is a little bit different. Facebook is Debts for Biz US. But all the other platforms, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all it's just Debts for Biz.
Outstanding.
Use the number 4. Use the number 4. The number 4 is important.
Well, Chris, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come in here and let us get to know you a little bit better and be able to spread the word about what you're doing. And that way, people can understand the things that you're doing to create a better world and to make things better than you found it. So I appreciate you taking time. And like I say to all the people that come on here, I will see you around the bend, my friend.
Oh yeah, I definitely appreciate it a bunch. Thanks so much for letting me be on the show. If you haven't seen it yet, I know there's one speech by Denzel Washington he was giving called "Fail Big." I love that speech, but I love the one part in that really stuck with me. He says, "Don't make a living, make a difference." I know when he said that, it just kind of stuck to me.
That's right. That's what it's all about.
That's right.
All right, you take care.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to Legacy Cast. Thank you for joining us today, and be sure to come back next time as we speak with more top influencers, industry experts, and business owners from around the world.